Look for happiness in today. Look for the best part in your struggle. I really need you to calm down, okay? I really need you to calm down. Now, let myself be a human just like everybody else. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Women Talk Podcast. You're here with your host, Jabri, and this is episode number 4 of season number 2. What's up, y'all? It's nice to be back. We have a really interesting topic today that I think a lot of people are actually interested in hearing about because you all said so on my Instagram. So I'm really excited to get into that. And before that, we always just got to address the show, address Women Talk. So last week, I recorded an episode and uploaded it, but the audio, I was just checking now, the audio wasn't recording for the last like 3/4 of the podcast. So I wasn't able to actually upload that audio to Spotify and Apple Music. I'm sorry, Apple Podcast. So yeah, it was only available on YouTube, and that was a really interesting episode, and it got pretty good views on YouTube, just better in comparison to my last ones. So I think you guys should go check it out if you weren't able to listen to it just because I didn't put it on Apple Podcast or Spotify. Please go on YouTube and check that out if you didn't get the chance to see it. I really liked it. I talked about McCamey Manor, which is one of the America's scariest haunted houses. And then I talked about Lacey Fletcher, and she's known as the woman who melted into her couch. So 2 very, very interesting stories. So yeah, if you didn't get to listen to that, please go back and listen to those or watch it on YouTube and let me know what you think. Yeah, so today's topic. I wasn't really sure how I wanted to frame today's topic. I've had this written down in my notes for about maybe 3-4 weeks now. Just because it's been a very prevalent topic, it seems like in 2023 when it comes to dating. And I am new to dating in 2023. So I've been coming across this a lot, and I heard about it before now, but I just wasn't really out here like that. So it's been hard for me to judge, but now I can confidently say I kind of understand what people were talking about, and I just kind of want to dive deeper into this culture where we feel like we're begging. And I'll show you the post that actually brought me to this topic today. So the post says, I suck at applying pressure. Bro, is we vibing or am I bothering you? And I feel like that is a sentiment that so many people share in 2023 because of the way we communicate and for a whole bunch of reasons. But I'm going to get into them in a second, so just stay tuned. So, as you're dating in 2023, do you feel like you're begging? Do you feel like you're bothering people? Do you feel like you just can't find anybody who is as honest and as open as you are? I'm sure the answer is yes, because I know a lot of people who share this sentiment are not alone out here. It's just a fact. Like, I know people feel this way. How fine is the line between clear about your needs and constantly repeating yourself? While dating, do you find yourself giving people multiple chances, or are you a strict one and done type of person? Me personally, I've done both. I've been in both positions. I've been both types of people. And honestly, I can't say I know which one is better to be. They both have their challenges and they both have their advantages. I'm not going to lie. So I would say, like, if you just give people chances, then you'll know you didn't miss out on anything. You know what I'm saying? You'll know you didn't disregard a good person if you give it your all. But if you're a strict one and done type of person, then you waste a lot less time. You deal with a lot less bullshit. But I will say you don't learn as much about yourself and about people, I think, when you just go from person to person, just because it's hard to make deeper connections with anybody. So yeah, both I think have their advantages. And I guess you kind of just have to play the game in the moment that you're in, because as much as we don't want to play the game out here, y'all, dating in 2023 is the game. And if you don't play the game, I promise you, you're going to get played. Now, I can't speak for dating at any other time like before, because I wasn't alive to really date like I can as a 25-year-old woman. But now there is a specific game that you have to play. And I'm sure there was a game back then too that you had to play. But the game now is very much to look aloof, to look nonchalant, or to actually be nonchalant, to not really care about anybody or care about whose feelings you affect or seem like you care. And I think there are multiple reasons for this. I think it's easy just to deem people as rude and uncaring. But we got to realize that a lot of people are just avoidant. Like, some of these people are rude for sure, but a lot of these people need therapy. I'm not gonna lie. Like, we want to take it very personal and make it seem like it's us. Like, oh, why aren't they talking to me? Or why aren't they being upfront with me? Or why aren't they, babe, he's not being upfront with anybody. You think he's going and sharing his feelings with that other girl, and he might be, but he's not giving her his 100% because he's an avoidant. Like, I think there's this like weird thing that we're mistaken. Like, oh, if he's not giving me his all, then he's giving it to somebody else. He doesn't have an all. I'm sorry. And I'm not speaking for everybody, obviously. There probably is some bum ass nigga who's out here giving one girl sticks and stones and then going to the other girl and giving her a lavish life. But if you have two girls already, you're already kind of slighting the other girl in general. So I don't know how you want to think about that. But I just think craving love and attention is very normal. And when we don't get the love and attention that we feel like we deserve, we feel hurt, we feel wronged, we feel angry, we feel rejected, we feel annoyed, and we take it very personal. But it's not personal. And even if it is, it would benefit you not to take it personally at all, because obviously that person isn't thinking about you personally enough to give you answers and to make a change in their life, because they know they're avoidant. Avoidant people know they're avoidant. Avoidant people know they're avoidant. They did not go their whole life without hearing that they were avoidant the entire time. Like I said, the need or the want really for attention is very, very normal in multiple ways. And expressing your need for attention is normal and shouldn't be ignored, brushed off, or deemed as unimportant. So I don't want people to feel like that's what I'm getting at. Like, no, your feelings are important and should be addressed, which is why I want to address the fact that avoidants know they're avoidant. They've probably heard it before and made no waves to change it. And again, it's not up to you to make them change it. Maybe they want to be avoidant, but it's on both sides. It really just depends on what you want to deal with. So yeah, asking is one thing, but begging is another. And sometimes people are out here begging. Like, we all know that one man in the DM who don't quit. We all know him. He's begging. He expressed his interest in you, and you either politely declined or were avoidant. And at this point, he's begging. And same for you, women. That man that you keep hitting up all the time, asking him to hang out, X, Y, and Z. Like, don't do that. Don't keep hitting him up, because if he's not hanging out with you, he doesn't want to, stink. And even if, again, it's for a bigger reason, it doesn't matter. He doesn't want to do it. So just move on. You don't have to be mean to him. You don't have to be wild. You don't have to block him. You don't have to do anything. Just move on. And we'll talk about that. I have some things you can do instead of being a beggar, quote unquote. And I have a list of things you can do. So if you don't know if you are like begging or not, or if you're just overly doing too much, here are some signs that you might be begging. You're always available. You feel inadequate. You're insecure. You overuse your partner for attention and affection. You avoid conflict. And you remember every detail. Now, of course, those don't always mean you're begging, but those could be signs you're begging. If you're wondering, if you're on the line, you're like, oh, I don't know if you're doing all of those, especially, oh my God, especially to a man that is not yours, or a woman, but it's especially to a man that's not yours, baby, you begging. I'm sorry. Don't do it. Stop, please. Let's get into how you stop. Let's get into that. So, good news. If you've just learned you're begging, that's okay, because a large part of the population is begging too. Don't worry about it. So here's some things you can do instead of begging. Here's some things you can do instead of constantly hitting that man up, hitting that girl up. Like, here's some stuff you can do. Focus on yourself. You could get a hobby. You could get a good habit, something that brings fulfillment. You could let go of control. You could get therapy. And I'm sure there are other options, but those are the options that I have right now. And I feel like those are good ones. Like, I don't know. So yeah, most likely your begging didn't come from nowhere. You were probably given signals, and maybe you stopped receiving them, and maybe you weren't getting signals, and maybe you were delusional. And more good news, it absolutely doesn't matter if you were being delusional or you were being led down one path and all of a sudden taken down another, because it's irrelevant. Whether it was warranted or unwarranted, no one wants to look desperate or needy. So please, baby, let's catch a grip. Look at the rejection wound, abandonment wound, the body dysmorphia, the anxiety, the depression, and low self-esteem, and stand up. Baby, stand up, okay? We're about to stand on business.
I'm standing on business. You standing on business. I'm standing on business.
Date yourself. Remember how good it feels to be alone and in your own space, not anxious or worried about anyone else. And if it doesn't feel good, focus on how to make it feel good, because be alone is way better than being by someone who doesn't care about you. But yeah, before I wrap everything up, I kind of want to get a little bit more into my personal experience with begging and feeling like I'm begging. And I feel like a lot of times I don't know what people think about me. Like, I'm not sure. And I can only get it from the few people in life who will honestly tell you like what they think about you, how they perceive you. And I do know a lot of people perceive me as a person who has a lot of suitors, like a person who a lot of people want to talk to. You know what I'm saying? And I can't say that's not true. I can't say a lot of people don't want to talk to me and get in my space. But I'm very particular about the people that I let in my space. So it narrows down the pool a lot. Like, I'm very picky. It's strict around here. I'm not gonna lie. I am very picky. I don't like a lot. Honestly, I'm very picky physically and mentally. So if you can get past both of those tests for me, it's kind of hard for me to let go of people, because I don't have a lot of people that I want. Like, it's a lot of, the pool is big, But do I want to jump in? I'm just trying to fish. I'm just trying to pick a few out. So it's just hard for me to actually let go of people sometimes. I can admit I'm a little bit clingy. I'm going to blame it on my water sign. I'm a little bit clingy. I'm a Cancer. That's the type of stuff we do. But I do know that I've been in situations where my clinginess didn't come across as clingy. It came across more as, and sometimes it wasn't even being clingy. Sometimes I've been gaslit into thinking I'm being clingy, but that's a whole nother story. Back to the avoidance. But yeah, I feel like I can be a little bit just upfront and sometimes overbearing with how I want to express my like for someone. And I know it can be a lot for men at times, especially because they have a hard time just expressing their emotions in general. For women, it's not usually so hard, but for men, it's like pulling teeth to get them to say what they mean sometimes. So personally, the best thing that's worked for me is not caring. Like, and when I say not caring, I mean not like acting like you don't care, but I mean genuinely retraining your brain to not care. So obviously, like we said, that person was probably giving you signs. They were probably giving you signals. They were probably doing something that made you feel like you felt comfortable pursuing them or comfortable telling them something or comfortable, asking them to hang out, whatever. Okay, so I feel like for you, that's cool. That's an emotion. That's fine. When you decide that your like for me, or you don't have like for me, or that your like for me doesn't come across in the same way my like for you does, then that's where I have to make a conscious decision to weigh out my worth. And baby, it's always gonna be heavier, but like, you know what I'm saying? Am I doing too much? Am I asking for too much? Or am I worth what I'm asking for? Like, if I'm asking to hang out, am I worth that? Am I worth hanging out with? Hell yeah, I'm a great time. So just pack it up. You know what I'm saying? Don't ask anymore. Pack it up. Get out of there. Just don't care. Go ahead and put yourself out there. I'm not opposed to asking people out, asking people to hang out. I'm not opposed to that at all. Like, it doesn't bother me. But if you just don't express interest, then it's okay. Like, we're good. And that's just how you kind of got to be. You got to, and it's a slower process. It's not just like, oh, I asked you to hang out, you said no. It's a slower process, but you just keep telling yourself, okay, you know what? That's fine. You see that somebody isn't making any ways to get to know you in any way, shape, or form. That's fine. There's so much to get to know about me. I'm such a fun person. I'm interesting. Like, I'm funny. I'm a good time. I know I'm worth getting to know. Why would I be pushing it on somebody? There's no reason to do that. Yeah, there's no reason. But yeah, hopefully that's helpful with my experience. But yeah, I've been there, y'all. I've been there before, and I'm sure I'll be there again. But it's nothing but to just pull yourself out of that moment. Pull yourself out of it. Yeah. To wrap everything up, I would just say accept the overarching disconnectedness that person is giving you as your answer that they don't want you, babe. Signed, you're realest bitch. No, yeah, but be clear about your intentions and don't be afraid to have conversations about your needs either. I also want to say that, like, don't let people making you feel like you're begging stop you from asking people for your needs, because that's how you get what you want in other situations where people actually care about you and they really care about your feelings and they really want to get to know you and they really want to move forward with you. You'll know. And yeah, you'll be able to do those things and get those needs met in your next situation. So yeah, I hope y'all are doing your best out here in the dating scene and keep remembering to love yourself, date yourself first. Anything that you want another person to do for you, make sure you're doing it for yourself first. If you want someone to take you out to dinner, go out to dinner. If you want someone to please you sexually, make sure you know how to please yourself sexually first. If you want somebody to go drink with, watch drinking alone. But keep it cute. Go with your friends. Friends are always an option too. I just hate offering friends as an option when people are talking about the companionship that they want, because friendship companionship and relationship companionship are just two different things in my opinion, especially because I'm a very like lovey-dovey person. So yeah, it's just a different relationship. But if you have friends that you fill that void for you, go hang with your friends too, because I'm sure they miss you. Yeah. Take care of yourself. I don't have any announcements, I don't think. I think that was really a good way to wrap up the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah. Bye.